All right, Doug from Salt Lake. Okay, so I talked to a guy back east. Not going to tell you his name and all that, but he sent me this, and he got his child support dismissed because. Okay, so first of all, I'm not a lawyer. This isn't a law firm. All that other bullshit. This is for education purposes only. I'm just showing you some stuff that I got, and we're gonna get back to child support, man, because I am tired of these people, and I want to destroy this extortion, this bullshit that they put on us, these contracts that are null and void. One of the things that this guy told me that he did was he sent in a discovery without leave. And you'll notice that last weekend I sent them the first attempt. So this is going to be an administrative remedy. Okay? So what's going to happen is we're going to ask them some questions. Okay? And I'm not going to make this a 20-minute video. Okay? I want you to read it. I want you to look at it. Okay? I want production. I want to see stuff. Okay? This is what I'm saying. Prove me wrong. Okay? Was there a judge present at your hearing? If there was, he's fake. If he wasn't, then there's no judicial. So we all know this, but I want you to get a look at this. This talks about needy families, public assistance, welfare. If you're not on welfare, then guess what? Child support does not apply to you. Okay? So this is the first of many that I've sent to them. And this is the Office of Recovery Services. Okay? Now this is important too. Contract law supersedes all federal and state rules, regulations, codes, and statutes. Okay? They're operating in commerce. They are a for-profit corporation. They've got a DUNS number. They've got CUSIP numbers. They create bids, bid bonds, and performance bonds, and all that. So what we need to do is we need to take it at them through commercial, through the UCC, okay, the Uniform Commercial Code, which has everything to do with commerce. I want to see the contract, okay? If you don't have the contract, then it's null and void. Okay, so today is the 31st of March, and this is what I'm getting ready to send them out. As you can see, this is basically the same thing, but I put the answers in blue ink, okay? And I'm getting ready to send this out on the 13th, okay? I gave them 20 days to answer. We all know that they're not going to answer. They're going to ignore it, and if not, I'll go in and I'll change this if they do. And what I did was I added this, okay? I sent you a document entitled Discovery, among many others over the past 2 years. And this document inquired as to the applicability of the Title 4D provisions as it may pertain to me. Having failed to provide an answer, including an alleged order from a real judicial judge, a judicial court, ORS is in default. What does that mean? That means they're in dishonor. Okay? They're in default. If they can send you paperwork and say that you're in default, then you can send them paperwork that says they're in default. Okay? What is default? Default is an omission, neglect, or failure of a party to take a step required to progress in his or her cause. It now becomes obvious that none of child support enforcement provisions, statutes, contracts, rules, or regulations as enforceable by ORS, the Title 40 agency in Utah, applies to me or my family. Okay? To prove this, let facts be submitted to a candid world. Okay? So this I added, and then this is where the first one starts. And as you can see, I went through and I put in that they didn't produce anything, doesn't agree, disagree, you didn't produce anything, do you agree, do you disagree? Is the father, in this case, the surety? No. Is the mother? No. Is the state of Utah the fiduciary? No. Has anyone from the Office of Recovery Services or the 3rd District Court ever forwarded the instrument that establishes my obligation to perform? In other words, did you give me a contract to sign that says, hey, by the way, we have an interest in your kids. I know we didn't tell you about it when you got your marriage license, but anyway, that's our child now and you need to take care of it. No. Okay? So here's all the answers. I'm getting ready to send this in. This will be something, according to the Supreme Court. Is child support a federal right? No. Is it an individual entitlement? No. Are Title 4D services intended to benefit the individual children? Okay? Well, if you guys have read Blessing versus Freestone, you know that Title 4D was not intended to benefit individual children or the parents, and therefore it does not constitute a right. So don't tell me, child support, that you're just enforcing a right, because you're full of shit. It contains no private remedy, okay? And guess what? If there's no remedy, then there's no case, okay? So it's all in here. I've backed it up with Code of Federal Regulations, okay? Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, Federal Code of... Whoop, that's backwards. No, it's not. Yeah, it is. That's back. I got to fix that. Okay. Good thing I'm looking over this again, huh? So anyway, this is demand for production. Of course, they're going to ignore, but this is the second step. And then, at the end, we talk about case closure criteria, which is 45 CFR 303.11 B1. Okay? Is an expedited administrative process pursuant to Title IV, Part D, Social Security Act, shall be administratively dismissed for lack of a contract. Boom. There you go. Sign here. See you later. Right? Okay, well, you would think. So we're going to go through this. I'm going to show you one more thing, too. Yeah, we're not going to make this a long one. But, so anyway, I've got discovery without leave. I've got the discovery without leave with the answers on it. I've got challenging jurisdiction. Got a bunch of these that you can cut and paste into your paperwork. And I've got a judicial notice and offer of proof under 1983. And what I've done, as you can see, I've gone in and I've taken out all of the Salt Lake stuff. And these are Word documents that you can add, go through it and put your name, your case number, your judge, state of whoever, judge whoever, the Office of Scumbag Services. Okay? So this is all something that you can get from me if you would like. This is a motion opposing bias and the appearance of fraud. If you guys have watched that video, if there appears to be fraud of any kind and you bring it up in court, if you tell them, you know what, all of you are in contract, everybody's got an interest, this is BS, I don't consent, there appears to be some fraud on the court, well, then, you know, they have to address it. There's a mandatory judicial notice, and regarding void judgments, okay, it's void ab initio, from the beginning. Okay, here's a motion opposing jurisdiction because you're not in their jurisdiction, and clarification of jurisdiction. Okay, so excuse me, Your Honor, are we operating in common law, or is this equity, or is this maritime, or you know, is this statutory jurisdiction? You know, what jurisdiction are we in? Because the jurisdiction that I operate in, you can't just make somebody involuntarily serve you from a divorce, or you can't just attach and make me pay child support through the state so that you guys can make $1. Okay? This one's important. Motion opposing defendant's motion to dismiss. This will be the first one if and when you decide to file a lawsuit, pay the $300. This is going to be probably the first one that you get, you should have ready, because the first thing that the assistant attorney generals or the attorneys working for the child support enforcement agency in your state is going to do is they're going to file a motion to dismiss, okay? 12B6 or 12BA or whatever the hell it is. It's Rules of Civil Procedure 12. You can look that up too. But if you already have this ready to go, then you got yourself covered. Okay? This is a notice of void judgment. This goes into huge detail about all of the stuff that makes a judgment void. Here's a memorandum and notice of revocation of jurisdiction. Okay, you are revoking your consent, and it actually goes farther into it. It goes into revoking your signature on any documents because there was no full disclosure and there was no terms and conditions. Okay, this is memorandum and evidence of fraud. Okay, this is where you get them because you point out that there's no contract and that they're doing it just to make a fee, and everybody is involved and everybody's got an interest in the case, and it's involuntary servitude. Okay, and then here's something I put together, and then I'll show you the last one and we'll get out of here. Child support is federal, correct? Yes. So if the IRS doesn't have jurisdiction, then how does federal child support have jurisdiction in the state? Okay? You have to understand, man, that the feds, you cannot enforce a federal law in the privacy of your own home. Okay? Your job is not federally owned unless you're a federal worker. You know, I think Rick W. talked a couple of times about this. Okay? If you're not in federal jurisdiction, then their rules, statutes, codes, ordinances, regulations, that shit doesn't apply to you, bro. And if you don't bring it up, they're just going to run all over you. Okay? So this is just a little something that you can read. It's about 2 or 3 pages of stuff that talks about how the IRS lacks jurisdiction and they only operate in the District of Columbia. And then there's a memorandum of constitutional protections. Again, this isn't just a one page. You know, this is pages and pages and pages of stuff. As you can see, there's 7 pages of stuff to go over. Okay? And the reason I'm giving you a little look at all that paperwork is because I want you guys to be successful. Okay? I am not in this so that I can make money. Okay? I did not win my case. Okay? But that doesn't mean that you can't use this paperwork and win your case. Okay? Now, there are several of you out there that have contacted me through my email and have asked me to send you specific pieces of paper, specific documents, and we've made arrangements because I want people to be successful. Okay? This was a lot of work, and I spent a lot of money, okay? A lot of money getting things from other people, and, you know, I have all this stuff already made up, okay? There's tons of information, okay? Tons of information. And so, you know, is it worth it? Let's see what I got here. What do I got here? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Man, this one's ridiculous too. 9, 10. This one's crazy too, man. It goes into such detail, man, about Oh, look at that. There's that word fraud. Silence is a species of conduct and constitutes an implied representation of the existence of facts in question. When silence is of such character and under such circumstances it would become a fraud, it will operate as an estoppel. Okay, so everybody know what estoppel is? That means knock it off. Okay, that means everything ends. Okay, what's that, 12? So anyway, we got a bunch of stuff for you, and I've put it all into one nice little package here for you. Here's all your stuff. Once again, you know, I would appreciate if somebody would send me a gift. You know, I spent $175 from Take from Caesar to get the one on the void judgment. Okay, of course I had to go through it and add some stuff and delete some stuff. But, you know, if you want to come at these people with something that is legit, that brings up all the proper things, you know, this might be something that you would be willing to address. And hopefully I can help somebody, man. Once again, I've sent a couple of you. I do have a PayPal. I don't know if you noticed, but one of those pieces of paper had my, let's see if I can find it again here real quick. There it is. So this is my email. Okay? If you're interested in looking at some of this paperwork, once again, man, there's several of you out there, and I've sent them to you, and you know, you've said that you were going to send me a gift, and you haven't. So if you'd like to see all this paperwork I just showed you, once again, I'm not in it, man. I'm not in it for the money, but I'm tired of giving shit away for free, and then people just disappear. So there's some of you out there, I'm not talking to you, you know that. Anyway, I don't want to sound like I'm just begging for money. So if you guys would like to see this stuff, let me know. We're going to continue to, even though this stuff doesn't apply to me anymore, we're going to see if we're just going to continue to throw things at these people and see what works, because we've got to find something that makes them go away. Because what I want is I want a letter from the Office of Recovery Services saying, you know, or from the court saying summary judgment, you know, we're closing this case. That's what I want. And then when we get that, we'll know that this stuff works, and then I'll put a price tag on it. All right. I hope everybody is doing well. I hope everybody is aware of what's going on in the world. You know, I gave you some websites, a couple of videos again ago. So I hope everybody is waking up to what's going on in our world. I don't know if you've been watching what's going on with the government and Jesse Smollett, but how does that fucking punk do something like that and get away with it? Okay, that's because there are two sets of rules. Okay, there are rules for the elite and there are rules for the slaves. And you know, which one are you, man? Peace.